For more, we now cross to SABC News reporter Katlego Legodi, who's live at the summit in Sandton. Katlego, thank you so much for joining us. A lot of important things that the Deputy President has mentioned there, and particularly for our viewers, the issue of those three strategic pillars that the Government of National Unity is going to be prioritizing over the next 5 years. The issue of the high cost of living. Was anything more than what the Deputy President said mentioned by other members who are part of NEDLAC?
A very good afternoon to you, Diabo, and to our viewers at home. The Deputy President there delivering a keynote address, just reflecting on the past 30 years of this social dialoguing and social partnerships between government, business, also the private sector as well, including the community, just coming through here to give us a sense of the gains over time. You heard him talk about Operation Vulindlela, the issue of unemployment, just talking about how they're coming through with a presidential advancement in terms of ensuring that they close the gaps where unemployment is concerned, but also touching on the two parts there to say that there's been a move here in terms of some of the laws that will then come through to protect the workers. Frank as well here, Diabo, in talking about the work that lies ahead. You hear him saying that really the high unemployment is something that should be a thing of the past. He's spoken about the economy as well, just the low growth, saying there's something that will be needed to be done here by the social partners to ensure that that becomes a thing of the past. We see those social partners taken to the podium as well. Earlier on, we saw the Minister of Employment and Labour, Nomakosazana Meth, also just delivering the work that they've been doing over time. This afternoon, we'll see a report that will be delivered to the Government of National Unity in ensuring that those three pillars that you mentioned there are prioritized, and the work that the social partners have been doing over time come through with a tangible change for workers, for the people on the ground, and also the country's economy that has not done well over time. So those social partners are just getting off the podium, and I've grabbed one of them to speak to us this afternoon, this being Mr. Kes Kovedia, who's representing a business. And we saw you also taking stock in terms of the past 30 years of this social dialoguing. There have been issues around the full implementation of a social compact in a way that all of these differences and the ideologies will be done away with. But we see the Deputy President as well, just talking about the need to ensure that we strengthen this partnership going forward, and the work of these social partners does not fail. It should come through for South Africans. Welcome to the SABC. Give us a sense of how you're receiving this past 30 years as a business constituents, and just give us a sense as well of what will need to be done to ensure that at least the issues of unemployment are a thing of the past and the economy is championed through NEDLAC. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, and hi to your viewers. So, what we've said in our input is that we recognize NEDLAC as an institution for social dialogue between government, business, labor, and community groups. But we have put on the table that we need to ensure that NEDLAC is fit for purpose. It's been 30 years, and NEDLAC is handing over a 30-year report to government. And it's only in the last year that we've looked at NEDLAC's role, its mandate, its positioning after 30 years. And we're quite clear that the world has changed since NEDLAC was established. Particularly the world of work has changed, economies have changed. We're into an area of digitalization, technology, AI, different ways of working, hybrid ways of working since COVID. And all of that needs to be taken into account when we actually dialogue on what we need to do about unemployment, what we need to do about economic growth, how we achieve that. So we are quite clear that NEDLAC is still relevant and it's still a credible organization, but we need to talk and dialogue about the appropriate things. It's not about how we create jobs like we did 30 years ago. It's how do we create jobs in the current economic climate, in the evolving economic forms and economic structures. We must take into account what some of the shortfalls are in our own country as far as an environment for growth and job creation is concerned. And those are the sorts of discussions we need to have. I think we've also put on the table that NEDLAC needs to talk about whether we go into trying to find consensus on details of issues or whether we find consensus on strategically what we need to do as a country. And then as we implement what we've agreed on strategically, then we start looking at trying to reach agreement on the details. We've also raised problems or issues related to social compact. NEDLAC, in our view, spins a lot of wheels in trying to put into place national compacts where all constituencies try to reach agreement on things. We believe that NEDLAC should be talking about the strategic direction and then enabling compacts between maybe bilateral compacts, multilateral compacts, compacts at social level that are more issue-based. And in our view, an example of that is the work we're doing with government currently on energy, logistics, and crime and corruption. That is a compact between business and government. But it's issues-based, very clear deliverables, and we're beginning to actually deliver. So I think NEDLAC needs to look at all of those issues, look at the environment it's working in, and look at the best role it can play in bringing constituencies together on social dialogue.
We see also the Deputy President talking about this document, this report that will be just passed in the afternoon today, being taken to the Government of National Unity. He's talking about the fact that the triple challenges have to be attended to, also be answered by NEDLAC. Maybe give us a sense of the role of business in ensuring that we bring about this change, and if indeed then this report will find meaning within the Government of National Unity, looking at what has been happening politically.
Well, the role of business is to create businesses and grow businesses so that we can create jobs. That's the role of business. We can only do that if there's an environment where investment flows into the country and an environment where local investors actually invest in the South African economy. We then can grow an economy in a way that it's actually delivers to all people in our country, not to very few people, but all people in our country. But without that environment, if we don't get investment, we can't grow the economy. And we've said time and time again, if an environment is created for investment, investment will flow. And an excellent example of that, we've been begging government to do away with the ceiling in embedded energy of 10 megawatts for years. The President finally did away with that ceiling last year. And since then, we've got upwards of 4 billion rand of investment in renewable energy. Okay, the private sector has produced upwards of 5,000 megawatts of energy in the last year because the environment was created for them to invest. And that's what we're talking about. That's the role that business can play. And if an environment is created for investment, investment flows into the economy. We grow our economy on the back of that investment. That's how sustainable jobs are created ultimately. And that's the role business is trying to play.
All right. Kes, thank you very much, sir, for giving us your time. Kes Kobedia coming through there as the CEO of BUSA, and you hear him representing a business here, talking about the work that they've been doing over time, saying there's still a lot to be done. As I said, there's a report that will be handed over from NEDLAC social partners to the Government of National Unity this afternoon, with the economy in the center and unemployment, which is a crisis as you look at it right now. Diabo, it's back to you in studio.
Thanks, Katlego. I really love what Kes Kobedia has said today regarding the issue of the evolving economy and evolving country, and how NEDLAC also needs to evolve its conversations. I thought that was quite poignant.